Hi friends, welcome back. Today I have decided to harvest my elephant garlic. I planted it in March this year and I think it is ready to harvest. The garlic has sent up its flowers, called scapes, and the leaves have started to dry off. The bulbs have started to split, but it should be fine and still well. The corms at the base of the garlic can be replanted the following year, but it will only produce one clove. This is my first year growing in the smaller beds, and even though they grew well, my 3 other beds of different varieties of garlic did not. I think I will plant the garlic in the bigger beds next year and also use more mulch, because these weeds are a nightmare. Elephant garlic is not a true garlic. It is more related to the leek family. However, it has a mild garlic flavor and I have found it awesome in meals and so much easier to peel. It is important to leave your garlic to dry in a sheltered position, leaving the leaves attached. Once fully dry, you can trim the leaves back and store in your pantry. Okay, so it's the next day. I've got some tomatoes to plant out, which I'm popping in this bed here. I've spent the last few days weeding this garden. It's been pretty full on, but it's looking really nice now. I'm so happy. I've picked up a few more seedlings from the nursery. So I'm going to be replacing this zucchini here because the fruit fly are loving it, and look at them. Can you see them? They're all over it and they just hammer it so much that by the time I pick it, it's already rotten, and it's so disappointing. It's so prolific with its fruit. So sad. But anyway, so I've bought another zucchini because I just wanted to put something straight in the garden. I didn't want to buy another packet of seeds and wait for it to be big enough to plant out in the garden. Over here I have another zucchini, and this was from the same seed packet, but it was like a green. You can see the edge there. But yeah, it grew a different zucchini, so I don't know what type it was, but it was so good. It wasn't hammered like the other zucchini by the fruit fly, but unfortunately in the strong wind we had the other day, it has snapped off at the top, and I don't believe that it can recover. So I'm going to replace this zucchini with, I think it's a black beauty or something. That was the elephant garlic that I harvested yesterday. So I've just got a few seeds to pop in a few places and a few more seedlings. So all up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beds here that I want to plant up, and then that one there, 6 with the tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that, and then I can show you, give you a little tour around the garden, and hopefully that's it for summer. Okay, so I've got my 4-star pickets and some bamboo stakes, my garden trellis, some shade cloth, and my cable ties. So let's do this. Okay, so I've planted up all those tomatoes. I'm gonna give them each a bamboo stake. Each I haven't quite got enough, but I'll pick some up at another opportunity. And then we'll water in and mulch it up with some sugarcane mulch. Okay. Hi there, it's the next day. I ran out of time yesterday to show you through the garden, so I'm going to do that this morning. Maybe we'll start in this corner. Alright, so we've got a mulberry tree here. It's our second year, and it was really prolific with fruit this year, and it's just finished up fruiting. We've got a dwarf lemon tree, and that's doing really well now too. This is the corn I planted about 4 weeks ago, and it's the I think it's bicolor sweet corn. So it's the white and the yellow kernels. So this is a sweet potato, and it was just a normal sweet potato that had started to sprout in my cupboard. So I just cut it in half and popped it in, and it's just taken off. So I'm looking forward to sweet potato. Hopefully it does well. On each side of this archway, I have loofah. It's only just started growing. And this one over here, it's a little bit further along. And I think it's actually starting to get some fruit on it now, so that's exciting. So I've just got some more sweet corn on this side, and it's about a week along. Got some sage, dill. This is my amaranth. cabbage is doing really well, but I think it needs a feed. Anyway, this one is borage, and bees love it, and I think you can eat the flowers, but I have never tried. Over here in these storage containers I have a Lebanese mini muncher, and I just got these seedlings this week. These ones are cherry Roma. Actually, one of my friends had it and they look so cute. I wanted to get some too. So I think they're from Diggers as well. Alright, so these are my tomatoes I already had growing. They are black crim, and I can't say this name, Periform abrasis. I have no idea how to say it. And I just planted up some marigolds next to it yesterday and some petunias, and I already had some sweet alyssum growing at the back. So this shade cloth is a 50% coverage, and I didn't hang it up initially and my tomatoes really suffered in the sun, but as soon as I put the shade cloth up they really bounced back. That's why I used shade cloth yesterday on the new tomatoes. So over here is the tomatoes I planted up yesterday. I mixed up the labels. I didn't label every pot. It's a mixture of black crim, tigerella and grosslisi. I think this setup is a lot neater than the other side. This plastic trellis looks a lot more sturdier. I don't know. And I also like the shade cloth better, so it will be interesting how the plants respond. This middle bed here, I think I'm gonna rip out those flowers and plant some new ones, because this African daisy is a little bit of a brute. It takes over. There was lavender in the middle. I think I'd like to freshen it up a bit. A couple of beds here I planted up yesterday. So to replace the other zucchini, we have some blackjack. So on the other side I have planted some eggplant. I know this one is very popular. The starter Digandia from Diggers. And over here is some kangkong. It's a Chinese vegetable. We've eaten it quite often at the restaurants, and this is my first time growing. I'm not sure what it's supposed to look like because I've only ever eaten it cooked. It's kind of doing okay in this bed, so I'll just let it do its thing, and then I'll figure out if it needs to be grown in a different location. I am growing it in a pot also under cover, as it might get too hot in these beds. Alright, so in this bed that you can't see anything is a dwarf bean, and I did mark it, but I can't see it. Anyway, it's a green dwarf bean, so look forward to that coming up. So on this side we have another zucchini, the same type, and another eggplant. These are the carrots I sowed 4 weeks ago, and they're the purple carrots, and I've just sowed some more normal orange carrots yesterday. In this bed I have a raspberry. I'm not sure what type it is. I did get it from Diggers. I originally had it in a pot and I planted it out in this raised bed last year. I thought, being in this raised bed, it would not spread outside the raised bed, but it was a small plant and it has filled the whole bed, and it is sending out shoots out into my garden, which kind of worries me. I don't want to get to the stage where I can't control it. In here I've got some eggplant, and my eggplant are being attacked by something. I think it's like mites. I did buy some spray from Bunnings 2 days ago, so I'm going to try that and hopefully it's not too late and I can save these plants. I've got some climbing roses that are in the ground here and they haven't had much chance to get going because I had sweet peas going up this arch, which I've only just taken out. Okay, so on this side I've got a few more eggplants and blueberry. Blueberry's doing really well. And I've just popped in another zucchini on the end there. Mandarin tree that I planted out into that raised bed the other day. This corn here is about 6 weeks along and it's doing really well. I can see, where did I see? It was starting to send up, what are these things called? It's flower stalk. Okay, in the middle I have snake beans coming up the trellis. It's my first year growing snake beans, so it'll be maybe a bit tricky to harvest them in amongst all the corn, but see how it goes anyway. In this bed here I've got the Market More cucumber and it's starting to do well now. So I've got a few growing I need to pick. So how big is this? So last year when I grew these cucumbers, I planted them right on the edge and I found they didn't do well, and I think it's because in summer the soil heats up too quickly on the edges of the beds and dries the plants out. So a lot of my plants that need a bit more protection from the sun are planted in the middle of the bed. I've just got a kaffir lime growing here in a pot. The pot's been sufficient for it. It's been happy, so I'll keep it in the pot for now. So what I've learned with these smaller beds in summertime is that the plants get stressed out quite easily by the summer sun. So it's important to, so I think the temperature fluctuation and the soil drying out very quickly, it's important to mulch up your beds really well. And if it's a single plant, like the eggplant, just plant one in the middle. Like, I'll see how the beans go and the kangkong. Like, they may be okay initially, but in the middle of summer they may not cope as well. And also the carrots. So, but yeah, I know from last year that it's better to just keep it to one major plant in the middle. And and these plants may need a bit of protection from the sun, so I may use like an umbrella on them or a bit of shade cloth. Alright, so that is my main veggie garden area. Okay, so I'll just show you out in the paddock. These are my paddock beds. So between last week and this week, this Untitled pumpkin has taken off, and as predicted, it is sending its runners everywhere, and I'm really happy I planted it out here in the paddock. I can see little fruit forming on it already, and that's so exciting, and I hope the fruit fly don't find it. Okay, my watermelon is starting to get going a bit more too. I may give this one a bit of a feed and try and stimulate it some more. And then the 2 beds I planted out last week. I've got the Butternut Pumpkin here, and they've all popped up. It's so exciting. They're obviously happy to all pop up, and yeah, I look forward to this one growing really well too. Okay, and then this one over here is called the rock melon, and they have all popped up as well. Okay, that is the end of my garden tour. Thanks for joining me in this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it and got something out of it. Let me know what you're growing in your summer garden and what's doing well. Until next week, take care and happy gardening.